Me?
Yep, I can see you clearly. Thank
Oh,
you.
hey, thank you. Thanks for joining me today, and thank you for your product that you're coming out with, UpViral. I know that everybody is talking about it. This is going to be huge. So really wanted to get out there because I'm putting out a huge bonus package for this myself, along with Jeremy Kennedy, and I really think this is going to bring a lot of use, a lot of help to people. So I want to just have that connection with you. I know you're going to get a lot of attention, a lot of interviews today. So for people that may not know much about your product, can you just go over some of the things, some of the benefits that this has?
Yeah, sure thing. Well, simply put, Viral is a referral-based viral marketing platform, which means you can, for example, run viral giveaways or viral contests to your audience and give your audience basically the perfect incentive to start to promote your business for you for free. That's what it does in a nutshell, basically.
You know, and you use this term in your sales page, and this is initially what got me so excited was you talked about Dropbox, and I know that Dropbox. Years ago, Dropbox is huge. I personally use Dropbox. I know a lot of other marketers use it, but Dropbox is congruent, I feel, with this particular platform because a lot of people don't know this, but the main kind of big push with Dropbox was through referrals. I know I did that myself. So that's what initially brought me on, because what did I do when Dropbox first came out? I went out and I sent it to most of my friends or people on my list because I got an extra, I don't know if it was 2 GB or maybe it was, I don't forget the exact number, but basically if I had people sign up with Dropbox, which was new at the time, I was getting more space. Can we connect that in, and just so people understand just how big and how important this is? I mean, because a multi million dollar business, hundreds of millions, was created with these exact same principles and strategies.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that, like, before they even tried that, I mean, Dropbox is big, like you said, and before they even tried it, they tried all the other things. They tried paid advertising, and they were spending a couple $100 for every client that was worth to them like $90. So they were losing money. So for them, it was like, what are we going to do? And when they implemented this strategy, they grew to close to 4 million users in 15 months, and that's just because people had the incentive to start sharing it with their friends. It's like you told me, they'll get if they share with their friends. And what's really important in what they did is that their friends actually had to sign up. So it's not just like, oh, I'm going to share it and I will get extra space. It's not per se about sharing it itself, but they have to make sure their friends actually sign up. So they really have the incentive to not just share it on Facebook and delete the share right after, but people actually go to their friends and send it out to their friends by email. They post it on Facebook. Man, some people even ran ads to it just to get that incentive, just to get that extra space. And that's really why this whole idea works so well, because everyone has their own unique link, and they actually have the incentive to get their friends or people around them to sign up as well. So yeah, like Dropbox is actually one of the main inspiration for this whole concept, because it's been doing so great for them, so well for them.
Well, I think of it in terms of, I mean, building a business. That's a huge way that you can take it. But looking at on smaller levels, not so much. I shouldn't say small, but I mean quick things. Like if I want to push this to a potential CPA offer, if I want to push this to a certain niche, I find those communities. Those communities are out there everywhere. You can look at, Facebook groups. You can look at people that are being on Twitter. You can find the people. The way I look at it, the initial surge, the initial crux of people that you want, and it doesn't take much for it to spread. So do you have any tips on for people in terms of not just using the platform, but the way that they are to incentivize or to make this really kind of start going on its own? How would they promote that to people?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think the most important thing is what you're giving away as the incentive. So basically, I have three common rules that I use in all my incentives to make sure people are willing to share. And the first one, you have to make sure it's valuable to them. So whenever someone is going to see whatever the incentive is, they have to think, I want to have that. Whether it's, for example, some exclusive kind of information, something they want to have, or it's some VIP entrance to something, or it has has to be perceived value. And my rule of thumb is, if they wouldn't be willing to pay for it, even if it's a couple of dollars, then they're not willing to share for it either. Because in a way, it's a transaction. Like they're paying to get it by sharing with their friends, right? So that's my first rule. Secondly, you also want to make sure it's exclusive to the giveaway. And what I mean is that they shouldn't be able to type in the exact same thing in Google and find that exact same freebie that you're offering on the first page of Google, for example, because people will go for the easiest route. And if that is just finding that freebie, finding that PDF that you're sharing, for example, and find that within a couple of seconds of searching, then they're just going to go for that way. But if the only way to get that information, to get that thing that they want, and the only way to get it is to share it with their friends, then that's the easiest route. That's the thing they'll know they have to do in order to get that freebie. So make sure it's valuable, make sure the only way to get it is through sharing. And finally, make sure it's socially accepted, which means it shouldn't be something really dodgy or weird, basically. Because if it's too disconnected from who they are, if it's they're not gonna just share something, some sort of a sex offer with all of their friends, for example, if you know what I mean. So It has to be still in line with that what they would want to share with their friends. Otherwise they'll be like, yeah, this is too much. This is just too much to ask for, basically. So these three things, that's really what I use for all my incentives to give away.
That's the thing, is that so many, not everyone, but a lot of people try and take the easy way out. And this product is easy in terms of it has the power to make things viral, but with just a little bit of thought, that's all it takes to get ahead of so many other people. So think about what your niche is. It can be a little PDF, but a PDF that you created or that you had it created for you, as long as it's original and it's good stuff, it's good, useful content. So it could, the way I see it, it could be content that it could already be out there, but if it's your content, if it has your name or a different name related to the content, that's one example of something to get out there. So if you had a small PDF that's 5-10 pages long, but it's exactly what this group of people needs, and you call it the Y factor. Okay, I'm coming up with that different name, but if you did a search for Y factor, you can't find it.
Exactly.
That's an example of something that can spread virally. Now, can you give or explain a little bit in terms of how this I don't know if I should call it a product or a system actually works? How is it that someone that's new is going to be able to plug this in to make it go viral? And I mean, I've seen it. I've seen the demo. I've accessed it. But I would like for you as the creator of this to explain your thoughts in terms of how they would proceed with this.
Sure thing. So once they have access to it, they can immediately start a campaign, and that means we have certain steps that they'll go through, which means you'll have a visual editor to create the opt-in page. So the first step of the campaign is always an opt-in page, because you want to collect your participants' email address, right? So that you'll enter a title and you add an image, for example, on the opt-in page, and then after you can also make some changes to the thank you page. And the thank you page, that's where the real magic happens, because like I said, we automatically give away the referral link to all of the participants. So we take care of all that, but they can just enter the title and just customize the whole page as they want. They can then choose, for example, if it's a giveaway, what kind of things they want to give away. And they, not just one, but if they want, they can even give multiple giveaways. So they can say, if 5 of your friends sign up, you'll get this ebook. But some, the people who will get there, those are the people you want to keep on letting them to share. So you can even say, now you have 5. Now you have 5. You refer 5 people. You have this giveaway. You know what? I have another thing that you can unlock. So if you get to 10 people, then you get also this extra freebie that you have. So you can add multiple freebies. Or for example, if it's a contest, you can set up all the contest rules. So when will your contest end? How many winners will there be? Things like that. So that's all really, really easy to set up, and it will all run inside the UpViral platform. Well, you can also set up. Sorry.
No, I'm excited because there's so many different things you can take it. So I'm not trying to interrupt you, but it's think I want people to understand that is that so many people, there's the marketing side of things. As a marketer, that I look at this for selling products, but when you look at just general people out there, if you're trying to get them on your list, or you're trying to go wherever you need to go, you want to get a fan base or something, that people are willing to do more for free than they will buy. Of course, you're going to get these people on the back end, but when you incentivize people, and it's almost like you tap into like the gambling side of people. The way I look at it is like, look, if you could just, it's like you're pushing people. People want that thing. It's exclusive, and just to get it for one person is something. But when you like, you have to get 10 to get this. It's a challenge to people. It's almost like saying, well, can you do this? Can you get 5 people to sign up? And most people will be like, well, yeah, I should. They almost feel like, of course I should be able to. So they're really, you're making people kind of work for you, and it's like you have a bunch of advocates, and it grows and grows and grows. I mean, when you think about it in terms of, if you can get one person to get 2 people to go, the numbers are you're an advantage, because that's how it can really spread. Because if you get your metrics working for you, you can get one person to get 2. Well, that next 2 people, one of them might get 1, the next one might get 4, and that's how you really kind of push it down the funnel, if you will. And then when you talk about a contest, it gets people really excited in that, it's like, look at me, I'm number 5 for this, and I've seen this everywhere on Facebook, and that's the potential where this can go. Go ahead.
With a contest, it's not even as much about whatever the prize is that helps, but in the contest itself, people are already like, oh, I want to win, regardless of what the prize. Contests are usually a good thing to easily spread virally, because people just want to join a contest because it has the fun factor basically, and that really helps to spread the message. And like you said, it's all about having the numbers. So once one person refers to, and that person refers to, etc., that's when you have that viral spread that you want, and it will keep on going basically forever. But
yeah, I mean, it's obviously a viral aspect, but it's true virality. Everyone uses the term, or we know about the term viral, but I think viral has kind of almost lost its oomph,
power.
Its power. But this is truly, the whole system is set up to make something go viral in that sense. And once people understand kind of some of the triggers behind this and the fun aspect of it, right? It's fun for some of these things. It's almost kind of, it's congruent with what you see sometimes with affiliate contests, where people are mailing and so on. Hey, look at you, James, you're number 3 on the leaderboard. What are you going to do to get number 1? Right? That plays on you. You might make so much money on an affiliate contest, but when you're like, look, man, you're right behind this guy, and other people are seeing it, it's like,
I can win, I can do that. Yeah, exactly. That's how it works.
I really dig it. I really like it. I mean, I know you've already had this out for some time. This is not something that you just came up with last night. You already have success stories. Talk about some of these beta people, some of the results they're having.
Well, sure thing. Well, actually, let me start off with how I even came up with the idea, because that's essentially the first campaign. So that was actually 3 years ago, and I was launching a new WordPress plugin, and like back then I didn't have the traffic, I didn't have an email list, so I didn't know really how to get the word out. And that's actually when I look at Dropbox and I noticed like what they were doing, so with the whole referral system. So I had something together basically. So I wrote something myself. And what I did is exactly what we're doing with UpViral now. So everyone who signed up then got their own invite link. And I said, if you get 5 people to sign up, you'll get early access to this plugin. And I was hoping that some people would start to share. Like this was my first test with it. I was hoping that some people would share. And what happened is that people didn't just share it once. They started to promote it everywhere they could. They promoted it multiple times on Twitter, multiple times on Facebook. And I think what really inspired me is like, and initially, I thought, wow, there was lots of traffic coming in. I had a couple hundred leads in the very first few days. But what happened after is the traffic never stopped, because people referred to others, they signed up, and they referred to others. And now 3 years later, I'm still getting new leads just from that core principle. And because that happened back then, and I saw, once it's going viral, it will keep on going. That's when at some point I realized, I should make a system, a platform that makes this doable for everyone, makes it easy to set up for everyone. So that's what we did. You asked for some case studies. Well, actually, because we gave a couple of people early access to test it all out, because we always test all our things out, and we've been working on this for a year. So it's important that everything is perfect. And one of the guys, he launched a campaign, I think it was last week, and he had 16,000 leads in 4 days, and that was in a niche. I think it was about the cigarettes, e-cigarettes. I'm not sure what the exact name is, but so that's like it's a random niche. It's a really, like, I thought it was just a random niche, and he had 16,000 leads in the first few days, and I was like, damn, like I've had some success with it, but just to see other people having success with it as well, that just that gives me the kicks, like I love that. So another case study that I'm doing myself at the moment, because we're always testing UpViral and we're seeing whether everything works. So I set up a test where I give everyone access to a little tool that I have. And once again, I said, get 5 people to sign up and you get that tool for free. It's really simple. And in order to test it out, I set up a Facebook ad, and I drove a couple hundred clicks to it, because initially a couple hundred, some people have to see it in order to them to sign up and then start spreading it. So I sent a couple of hundred visitors to it. And right now, I can even check it right now. I think we have, let me see. We have, at this point, close to 12,000 visitors because of it, because people are spreading it. So I sent a couple hundred visitors, and now we have over 12,000 visitors in total, and just over 2,500 email leads, just because I sent a couple of hundred visitors. And that's just because people are starting to spread it.
That's awesome.
And then those people sign up, and that's just, I love it. I really love it.
Yeah, it's, you think about, like, I think it's interesting the way you said it there, because a lot of times I think in terms of product launches, and I look, well, there's a 7-day cycle for some of these things, or there's evergreen launches, but typically launches are in the minds of people for a few days, typically for that big rush. But when you think about like viral videos, like I could see a video a year ago, and then all of a sudden a year later, like I see it kind of start again, and people are posting that video again. They might not have saw it, and that's what you're experiencing with this, is that you have something that goes, but then a couple years later you still have it going. So people need to remember that this is a one-time setup, and then it just, you're using people to, they might not see it today, but they could see it a week from now. It just depends where it flows to them. And then the cool thing is when you look at Facebook, when you look at Twitter, when you're seeing that, a lot of times there's connections between people. I'm friends with this person, but that's person's friends with this other person. They might start, or they will start seeing this, especially when you talk about the internet marketing community, which is what I'm really excited about with this. They're going to start seeing that multiple times, and that just propels it even further. So I just think it's a really smart idea.
Thanks, appreciate it. And just you just mentioned you were using people, and I think that's one of the strengths as well, because you're really using people, between quotes, using, of course you're not using them, but it goes from people to people, and that makes you independent of any platform, because you're not just you're not just basing your strategy on just Facebook, for example, or just Twitter, because like a couple of years down the line, Facebook is not going to be as big as it is today, or Twitter is not going to be as big as it is today. But that doesn't really matter, because it's going between people to people, so they'll use whatever system they have to get the word out, whether it's Facebook, whether it's a new sort of social media network, whether it's email. And that really, I think that's really something that makes it future-proof, to make sure like it's not depending on any single platform whatsoever, because you're depending on people spreading the message for you, and they'll pick however they can reach their friends and people around them.
Well, that's the thing, is that, I mean, obviously Facebook is the big one. Twitter, clearly is a huge one. But one thing that that I've been really looking into the last few months is that there's a lot of other social networks popping up everywhere. They're getting more and more niche defined. So like you said, it's about the link. If someone wants to email out the link that you send it to, if someone wants to put ads to it, if someone wants to, exactly. There's all kinds of different, like I saw this platform the other day called Live, that has 100 million users, and it's like Facebook, and it can go in there and then start going in that community. It can go to different areas. Just depends on where that person hangs out, which we don't know. They could be huge in these 10 platforms. They're huge in this other platform. This other person, we don't know. We let them decide. So it just what I like about this is the opportunity, but at the same time you have the results, not just yourself, but you have beta testers that have results. I like the idea. I love the idea, and I understand it. I understand where it can go. So to me, it's a no-brainer. It's a really, really cool tool. It's not a possibility. It's something that can do and will do big things depending. So it gives you that ability to make it happen, and so that's why this is going to be a huge launch. Now I know that you've had some success with some of your launches. They've been with some big launches that you've had. Um, you know, I think this is going to be right up there, if not surpassing it. That's why I'm behind it, and I think it's just I wish a lot of luck on this one.
Thanks, man. I really, really appreciate it, especially coming from you. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Wilco. So I appreciate your time. Everybody that's watching, I'm going to have a link at the bottom of this YouTube video. I'm going to have the best bonuses for this, and so it's not just bonuses. We're really gonna expand on what Wilco's doing, so that you're just going to have even more to make this go nuts, if that's even possible. So check it out. Thanks so much, Wilco.
See ya.
All right, have a great day.